It's 3 a.m., and a sudden, violent jolt rips through your calf like a white-hot wire. You're gasping, reaching for the edge of the mattress, wondering why your body is misfiring despite everything you do. You eat the spinach, you take the vitamins, but you're still losing the battle. This isn't just getting old, it's a power outage in your synapses that leads to the shuffle walk and that blank stare we all dread. But the fix is simpler than you think, and it doesn't involve a single horse pill.
It's 3 a.m. and the house is dead silent. But for you, the silence is broken by a sudden violent jolt. A Charlie horse rips through your calf like a white-hot wire, tightening the muscle until you're gasping, reaching for the edge of the mattress. You try to massage the knot away, but the pain lingers, a dull, throbbing reminder that your body feels like it's slowly falling apart. Meet George. George is 68, and honestly, he's a fighter. He walks his golden retriever every morning, eats his organic spinach, and never forgets his daily multivitamin. He's doing everything the experts told him to do, but his body isn't listening. Lately, George feels like a flickering light bulb in a century-old house. His eyelids twitch during lunch. His heart suddenly skips a beat while he's reading the paper, a terrifying flutter that makes him wonder if he's next for the cardiology ward. He lies awake at night, staring at the ceiling, gripped by a quiet anxiety. Is this just what 70 looks like? Is the slow slide finally starting? The truth is simpler and a lot more frustrating. George is suffering from an intracellular electrolyte imbalance. It's a fancy way of saying the electricity in his cells is misfiring because the mineral grease that keeps his nerves calm has vanished. George thinks he's safe because he's already taking a magnesium supplement. He swallows that big white pill every morning with his coffee. But here's the scary part your doctor won't tell you. That pill George is counting on, it might actually be putting a massive strain on his kidneys while doing absolutely nothing for his heart or his muscles. You see, there is an invisible enemy hiding in your kitchen cabinet that makes most magnesium supplements completely useless, and the way it sneaks into your bloodstream is nothing short of a biological betrayal. You probably grew up believing that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, or that a big bowl of spinach is the secret to strength. But here's a bitter pill to swallow. The soil our food grows in is exhausted. It's tired. Decades of intensive farming have caused massive soil mineral erosion. To get the same amount of magnesium your grandparents got from a single apple, you would practically have to eat 10 of them today. You aren't imagining it. The food industry has left your plate empty of the nutrients you need most. But it gets even more complicated. You go to the clinic, they draw your blood, and the results come back normal. So why did your doctor's test say you're fine when you feel like a wreck? Welcome to the magnesium ghost. You see, only about 1% of your body's magnesium is actually in your blood. The rest is supposed to be deep inside your cells. A standard blood test is looking at the hallway, not what's inside the rooms. Your cells are literally starving to death while the test says you're perfectly fine. And then there is the calcium hijack. For 40 years, we've been told to load up on calcium for our bones. But here's the problem. Calcium and magnesium are like two people trying to squeeze through a single narrow door at the same time. This is called ion channel blocking. Because we are so overloaded with calcium, it effectively locks the door to your cells. Think of your cell like a bank vault. You have the magnesium you need, but the key has been snapped off in the lock. No matter how many supplements you swallow, they can't get inside. Your system is jammed. But wait until you see what happens when this cellular lockout moves from your muscles to your actual heart tissue, because that is when the real damage begins.
Ever wonder why your blood pressure refuses to budge, or why your heart suddenly flutters like a trapped bird in your chest? It's a terrifying sensation that makes you think of strokes or sudden events in the middle of the night. But to understand the fear, we have to look at the pump. Inside every single cell, there is a tiny engine called the sodium-potassium pump. This engine runs on ATP, the pure fuel of life. But here's the catch. That engine cannot spark without magnesium. Magnesium is the chemical velvet that allows your muscles, including your heart, to finally let go and relax after a contraction. Think about that. Your heart never getting a chance to rest. Without enough magnesium, your heart stays in a state of constant microscopic clenching. It's working overtime, pushing against walls that won't give an inch. And those arteries? They are supposed to be flexible and springy, but when magnesium vanishes, they start to lose their elasticity. They turn into what I call metabolic concrete. Imagine a rusty, frozen garden hose that has been left out in the sub-zero cold for years. When you try to bend it, it doesn't give, it cracks. That is what's happening inside your vascular system right now. Your blood is screaming through pipes that are too stiff to handle the pressure. But it's not just your heart and your pipes that are under attack. There is a massive lie being sold to you at every pharmacy and big box store in the country. A value brand trap that is actually making your gut and your deficiency significantly worse. You've seen them in every drugstore aisle, those massive value-size bottles with the bright labels promising you the world for just $10. You've likely bought them, hoping for relief from your cramps or your high blood pressure, only to end up feeling exactly the same or worse. It's a scam, plain and simple. Most of those bottles contain something called magnesium oxide. Now, here is the contrarian truth your doctor probably hasn't mentioned. Magnesium oxide has a pathetic absorption rate of about 4%. Think about that for a second. Taking that supplement is like trying to fill a massive swimming pool with a thimble that has a hole in it. You're putting in the effort, but almost nothing is actually reaching your heart, your brain, or your bones. So, where does the other 96% go? This is the laxative loophole. Because your body can't absorb it, that magnesium just sits in your gut. It acts like a magnet for water, triggering what I call osmotic diarrhea, or more bluntly, disaster pants. Big box stores love these cheap salts because they are pennies to manufacture and they pad their profit margins. They don't care that your health is declining while you spend your morning in the bathroom instead of on a walk. You aren't getting healthy, you're just getting dehydrated. But as bad as these cheap pills are, there is a hidden habit you likely have right now, something you might even do every single morning, that is actively pulling the magnesium right out of your system. It's like having a thief in your own kitchen, and most people are unknowingly inviting them in.
It gets worse, much worse. You might be doing everything in your power to fix your levels, but there is a group of magnesium excretors hiding in your daily routine that are working against you. I'm talking about your morning cup of coffee, that relaxing evening glass of wine, and even the very medications your doctor prescribed for your blood pressure. These aren't just minor inconveniences, they are thieves in the night. Here is where it gets scary. These substances trigger something called renal magnesium wasting. They don't just block new magnesium from entering your system, they actually reach into your bones and your heart tissue, pull the magnesium out, and send it straight down the toilet. Think of your body like a leaky bucket. You can keep pouring in the most expensive supplements in the world, but if the bottom of that bucket is wide open, you are just wasting your money and your time. Your levels will never rise because you are losing it faster than you can swallow it. And listen to this, even your healthy habits are part of the drain. We've all been told to drink 8 glasses of water a day for hydration, but if that water is stripped of minerals, it creates a diuretic drain. It literally washes the life-saving minerals right out of your skeleton. You are fighting a losing battle, and the stakes are higher than a simple muscle cramp. Because there is a specific point where this leaky bucket stops being a health tip and starts becoming a direct threat to your very dignity and your ability to live at home. Take a second and really think about your biggest fear. For most of us, it isn't death, it's the slow slide. It's that terrifying day you realize you can't quite trust your legs on the stairs, or the moment you reach for your grandchild's name and find only a blank, cold void. You fear the nursing home. You fear being a burden. You fear losing the very things that make you, you. Independence isn't a luxury, it's your life. But here is what's actually happening behind that senior brain fog. Your brain is suffering from NMDA receptor overexcitation. Without magnesium to act as a guard, your neurons are being fired constantly, overstimulated until they literally burn out. It's called neuroinflammation, but you can think of it as your brain on fire. Imagine a major city during a brownout. The streetlights are flickering, the subway has ground to a halt, and the communication lines are dead. The lights are technically on, but nobody's home. That is a magnesium-starved brain. It leads to the shuffle walk and that heartbreaking blank stare we all dread. It also leads to sarcopenia, which is just a medical term for your muscles wasting away while you watch. Your strength is draining out of you every single morning. But listen to this, that fog, it might not be the big A or permanent decline. It's often just a power outage in your synapses that can be reversed in as little as 48 hours. There's a way to flip the breakers and bring the grid back online, but it requires a hero ingredient that your local pharmacy has been hiding in plain sight.
The fix is simpler than you think. You've spent years trying to force a square peg into a round hole, but now it's time to use the key that actually fits the vault. To stop the rust from seizing up your body, you need what I call the chelated triple threat. Chelation is a fancy word, but think of it as giving your magnesium a VIP pass. Standard magnesium gets stuck at the door, stopped by the bouncers in your gut. But when magnesium is chelated, meaning it's wrapped in an amino acid, it slips right past the line and goes straight to work. This is how you avoid that laxative loophole we talked about. No more disaster pants, just pure absorption. First, there is magnesium glycinate. This is the calm version that helps you finally drift off to sleep without your legs twitching. Then there is magnesium malate, which acts like a battery pack for your muscles and energy levels. But the real crown jewel is magnesium L-threonate. This specific form is the only one that can cross the blood-brain barrier. It's like high-grade grease for the hinges of your life. It enters the synapses of your brain, calms the fire, and brings the lights back on in that city we discussed. You aren't just masking the pain, you are knitting your vitality back together. But how do you actually start? You don't need a suitcase full of new pills. There's a 48-hour reboot plan that involves a skin secret most people completely overlook, a trick that lets you bypass your digestive system entirely. Look, I know you're tired of swallowing a handful of horse pills every morning. Nobody wants a complicated 12-step routine just to feel human again. You want a system that just works. But here's the skin secret that could change everything for you.
If your gut is sensitive or armored against supplements, the best way to get magnesium into your system isn't through your mouth at all. It's through your skin. Think of it like watering a plant through its leaves because the roots are sick. Through a process called transdermal diffusion, magnesium can soak directly into your bloodstream, bypassing your digestive tract entirely. No stomach upset, no disaster pants. Here's your day 1 protocol. Step 1. Do this tonight. The 20-minute soak. Add 2 cups of Epsom salts to a warm bath and soak for 20 minutes before bed. The magnesium oil hack. If you don't have a tub, spray magnesium oil directly onto your calves or the bottom of your feet 30 minutes before sleep. The D3 shuttle. Take your vitamin D3 at the same time. Think of D3 as the shuttle that magnesium needs to actually get where it's going. By tomorrow morning, those rusting hinges should start to feel a little smoother. But before you think you're in the clear, there's a 1-minute kitchen hack you need to know about. Because even if you're soaking in salts, there's a hidden danger in your tap water that is actively bleaching the minerals out of your body every time you take a sip.
I know what you're thinking. You're worried about slipping up. You're wondering if one morning without your soak or 1 cup of coffee is going to send you right back to square one. Listen to this. You don't have to live in a cage to keep your heart and joints healthy. This is the secret to staying young. It's the 80-20 rule. If you protect your mineral levels 80% of the time, your body becomes resilient enough to handle the occasional treat. Think of your body's magnesium like a savings account. As long as you are putting in more than you take out, the account stays healthy. If you decide to indulge in that extra cup of coffee, just pay the tax by adding a little extra magnesium or some trace minerals later in the day. It's about balance, not perfection. But you need a safety net for the days when life gets in the way. Here is that 1-minute kitchen hack I promised. Most tap water and even bottled water is hungry. It's been stripped of everything. When you drink it, it actually leaches minerals out of your cells to balance itself out. To stop this, simply add a tiny pinch of Celtic sea salt to your water pitcher. I'm talking about just a few crystals. This doesn't make the water salty, it remineralizes it. It provides the trace cofactors and mineral synergies your body needs to maintain homeostasis. It turns your water from a thief into a delivery system for pennies a day. You're building a body that can finally bounce back. But before we wrap this up, I need to show you what your life could actually look like 6 months from today. And I have one final mic drop warning about a healthy habit sitting in your pantry right now that might be the biggest magnesium thief of all. Imagine yourself 6 months from today. You wake up, and for the first time in years, that white-hot wire in your calf is gone. You sit up, your feet hit the floor, and there's no wincing, just a smooth, easy movement. You aren't just surviving, you are reviving. The mirror doesn't have to be your enemy. When you look in it now, you see someone who took back their freedom. You're back on the walking trails, keeping up with the grandkids, and your mind is so sharp you're catching every little detail of their stories. This is what happens when you outsmart a system that was never designed for your longevity. You've moved past the shuffle and the blank stare because you chose to fix the power outage at the source. You are part of a growing movement of people who refuse to accept a slow slide into a nursing home as normal. By fixing your magnesium, you've taken the first real step toward reclaiming your dignity. But don't keep this victory to yourself. I want to hear your story. Have those hinges finally started to move with ease? But I have to give you one final mic drop warning. If you think the Magnesium Trap was a betrayal, you won't believe what healthy whole wheat, the so-called king of the pantry, is doing to your mineral savings account as we speak.
It is an even bigger threat to your independence, and I'm exposing the whole thing in my next video. Before you go, join the conversation below. Which of these symptoms did you think was just age until today?